hey, you guys, can we have a conversation about like parenting and men and women who aren't in their children's lives or have a good relationship with their children?
Okay.
The reason why I say this, we've been hearing all these stories again about Brian McKnight.
Yep.
It's been going on for months, years, and everything about him not having a relationship with his oldest children from a previous marriage. I think it's 3 older ones, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So he doesn't have a relationship at all. Like, I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, it's like
Real bad, toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And so the wife that he's married to right now, I'm looking at her. Remember, I said to you guys,
Yep.
to me, I look at her and go, how can you respect him? How do you
want to have a child by him?
with him when you see how he treats his other biological children?
Like it would almost be like a warning sign, right? Like a red flag.
Right.
Is what we call nowadays. Like you see that, you're like, oh my God, what's the chances of him doing that to my family or my children?
That's what I feel like. That's what somebody logical would think. But then, I think she's excited or happy about it because he's showing so much favoritism to
her
child and her children that she's had outside the marriage.
Right. So they're getting all the best of Brian McKnight, where his other 3 biological have no
Get nothing.
relationship.
Get nothing.
And she is okay with it because right now that's where his focus is. My mother used to always say to me,
Absolutely.
she said, be careful. She said, some men, once they divorce that wife, they divorce the children too.
It's funny
heard
because I always look at, whenever I'm, was dating, I was always looking at how you talk about your children and how you talk about your baby mama.
Yep.
I don't want to hear, oh, she crazy, she this, she that, because that means if we break up, you're going to be saying the same thing about me.
There it is.
So, and having a relationship with your child is very important because I have a child. So I need to know how you parent.
Right.
So I would never have ever been attracted to Brian McKnight to see that this is how he treats his children.
Yeah.
You couldn't be around my kids.
Because again, if she breaks up with him and they break up somehow, does that mean he treats your children the exact same way? And would you be okay with it?
Absolutely.
So how could you be okay with him treating them other ones like that?
You know what? Growing up, one of my rules was don't date women with kids, right? And this one time I gave this girl a chance and she had a daughter.
Right.
And one of my biggest turnoffs with her is she just wasn't a very attentive mother. Like she would leave the baby with her mom for like days.
She just wasn't around.
She would hang out with me for days and wouldn't see her child. And I just, I didn't judge, but I used to be like, that's crazy.
But doesn't that bother you?
It did bother me. It bothered me to the point
bothers
where
me.
I ended it because of the way she was with her own child.
When I first started dating Kel, I was like, wow, he's always with his daughter. And I'm like, that is good.
Wonderful, right?
Like, I need you. It wasn't like even a jealousy thing, but you have to understand some women are built different, right?
Yes.
Some women are like, why are you spending time with her? Why are you spending time with your kids?
Yeah.
Why not me? And it's like, oh, girl, please.
Yeah, there's a selfishness
It's
there.
a
And to be honest
selfishness.
with you, I mean, I don't know, but it sure does look like that way, with Brian
yeah.
McKnight and his woman.
And you know what? I bet she's leveraging that. Like, you need to prove to me that your new family is more important to you than your old family.
So, my mom used to, here we go. My mama said.
My mama said.
I know,
My
I
mama
say it.
said, my mama
I
said.
say it a lot, and my mother was very wise. Growing up would tell me little stories and things like that. But I'm just saying she would always talk about that when it came to men and children. And she used to always say this, a woman should help a man be a better man, and that man should help you be a better woman.
Come on.
And if Brian McKnight's wife is not trying to help him be a better man and to be in the life of his children,
yeah.
and to try to be that mediator to make it,
That
like,
is
wouldn't you
so
try?
true. Yeah.
Because it would be. Because again, I would have to look at my own children,
Right.
And that if we break up, if he treats them that way as well.
Absolutely.
I'm going to open the phone lines because again, I mean, come on.
It's ridiculous.
I could see divorce of a person that you just don't get along with anymore. You're divorcing your man or woman.
Right.
But to disown the children, to actually divorce the children at the same time, that's crazy.
All
You
right,
know
so-
why? Because they're attached.
Yes.
And
So-
and they want to delete the whole family.
So then it becomes a question of you, the person dating or marrying.
Yes,
person.
you dating that kind
Now,
of person.
yeah, there's a question about who you are. So I'm curious, everybody. Could you deal with somebody who doesn't have a relationship with their children? And are you
That's a good
dealing
one.
with someone
Right.
who doesn't have a relationship with their children?
And tell us why you've accepted it, right? Because
Yeah.
there has to be like an amazing reason for me to understand that somebody who cuts off their children.
Yeah. Because I'm curious
crazy.
about this. Again, it says a lot about who you are as a person, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That if you can date somebody who has no relationship, nothing.
It does say something about you.
And do you fear that, like you said, that same thing will happen to you? If you have his
Right.
child or you have a baby by her.
Because I'm sure it's coming across her mind.
Yeah.
She's thinking about that. Like,
No,
maybe not
maybe
now, but in the beginning,
Yeah.
maybe.
No,
My thing is the taunting, right? Going back to the Brian McKnight situation, the taunting of this is my only family that I've loved so much. I now know what love is. It's like you're
Yeah.
literally just going to disregard your biological children like that, and she's fine with it.
and she's fine. That's my
That's
point.
the disgusting
to me,
part.
It tells me a lot about who you are as a person. So guess what? The phone lines are open right now. Could you deal with somebody who doesn't have a relationship with their children? Could you deal with it? And if you're dealing with it now, let us know.